trays I got through.
Alright, so here I'm just prepping everything. This is what the ashtray looked like. I painted it with acrylic paint first, so it got some streaks in it.
Because I didn't have any green spray paint at first. So I'm just getting all the excess. This still just a little bit tacky. Not rubbing off on me or anything, but it's just a little tacky, so I'm gonna be careful with that. And this tray, this ashtray, it's like a two-tone, so it's pink on the inside because I made it for a different set. But I put glitter. I didn't mix the glitter in the epoxy. I just poured the glitter on top once I put the epoxy in there. So I didn't like how that looked. So I may cut out. I'm gonna see how it's gonna turn out when I put the design on there, and I'm gonna put glitter in the epoxy this time. And the black somehow ran over on the side, so I clean all of my stuff up though once I epoxy it and it dries. For my ashtrays, when I dry them, I basically just leave them. I set them like this because I only pour enough epoxy on the inside to cover the design. And I like to have the jar attached when I'm applying the decals to the top. That way I can make sure that everything is lined up, like, so it'll be a top and a bottom, because it has these lines, but I just like to put the top on when I'm putting the decals on the top of them. I won't be epoxying the lighters, but I will be adding vinyl to this one before I do my designs. It is getting hot in here fast. So to do my jars, I basically have 2 cups. I got these cups from Dollar Tree. And I put the lids on top of there while the epoxy is, drying. Now my wipes. Like I said, I like to keep something, a wet wipe or something near me, because I am clumsy. And I know I am. So keep something near me if I make a mistake, or if I drop it somewhere I don't want it, I can hurry up and wipe it up. My heat gun, got this from Joann's. It was $20, but I had a coupon. So I'm gonna plug this in and get it ready. And I'm doing the trays early because I hope that they'll be dry by tonight. Normally when I do them this early in the day, they dry by They dry by night. Depends on how hot I have it in the house. I'm just looking for my gloves. Thought I had some already open. I'm gonna get my mask for the epoxy to protect myself from the smell of the epoxy. Just opening my gloves up real quick. This is my first time just recording and not having like a live or an audience. So I may actually do this on my YouTube. I have a YouTube, I just don't post anything like craft related on there because I don't know. But if you are watching this on my YouTube and you are a crafter, please join my Facebook group. It is Crafts, the letter R, Us, Uncensored. And go on to Facebook and join my craft group. I post lives, projects, and I just want to get it to be a little bit more active than it is, because I have over 200 members. Not that many, but that's good for me because I'm just starting out for the past couple of months. But people are not as active in my group as they are in other groups, so hopefully we can change that. And that's another reason why I wanted to do some tutorials for YouTube, so that I can recruit members to join my group. All right, so I think I got everything I need for the trays. I'm gonna move this out the way. Now for the picture tray, your picture It's printed out like this. Like I said, 9x6. Printable vinyl. So it's basically a big sticker. Now the way I like to do mine, I like to fold it in half. Just to kind of line it up in the center. Try not to tack it or touch it until you are ready to place it. And that is so crooked. And it's probably gonna lift off some paint. Look at that. Cause I just sprayed this a little while ago. I just resprayed this a little while ago. But you won't see that part. The picture will be covering it up. So you see how much of my paint came off. So I'm gonna try it by doing it in the corner first. So I'm gonna try to line up one side. And you don't want any bubbles. Like this stuff touch, it's stuff. But the good thing about it is you can kind of play with it a few times. I'm gonna turn it this way. I hope y'all can see this. If not, I mean, this is an order that I'm working on, so it has to be perfect. Okay. And then to prevent bubbles, any air pockets or bubbles underneath, I just smooth, rub and smooth it all the way out. And that's how I do it. I don't do a full, I haven't done the all over tray. I don't see a reason, because it's just basically excess paper over the edge. I think if you do the bottom of the tray, that should be sufficient. And it looks good. So that one is done. I'm gonna grab my design for the lid. Again, peels off, just a big sticker. And I don't waste this paper. Like you can see, I did another project up here. If I got something this big, I'd probably put it over there. But I don't waste product at all. Now for my lid, like I said, I wanted to have a distinguished top and a bottom. So while it's on the jar tight, I'm just going to place this in the center and press it down. I don't want any epoxy getting under there, so I just take my nails and make sure that it's adhered to the thing, and that's what you get. Sorry, my light is messing with the glare, or messing with the image, so you can't hardly see, but that's it. So I'm done with this set. Now I'm gonna start on the other set. Let me do something with this light. Okay. I should have just put my ring light on, but I don't have a plug right here. So I'm just using my little desk lamp. So now this set just needs to be epoxy. Something is this, oh, the lighter. So I got my lighter, got my ashtray, and my jar. So I'll slide this one to this side. Now it's still a little bit sticky. Now that I got my picture on there, I can take this jar, sit it to the side, and I draw my lids this way. Now for this, I will need some transfer tape. It's going to basically kind of be like this, and then the lips are going to be in the middle. It's the Dollar Tree Chef Liner paper.
All right, so while I'm opening up this lighter, I just wanted to come on here and say that if you're going to be adding lighters to your tray sets, please don't use the big or the single-use lighters, because if you think about it, you're putting all that work into designing that lighter, and once the fluid is gone, it's just going to be a lighter. So I strongly recommend getting the refillable lighters, and Dollar Tree has them. Just like you order the cases of trays, you can order a case of them. I just wanted to add that.
They do have an adjustable flame. That is flame is real high. Cut a piece of my transfer tape or transfer paper. It's really just shelf liner, but I'm gonna use this again. I got a bad batch of this stuff, so sometimes it picks up my vinyl, sometimes it doesn't. I can't wait till this is gone. I'm gonna buy some more probably today. I'm gonna get out and go to some craft stores in a little bit, but I wanted to go ahead and get the trays done. These customers have been patient with me because, like I said, I work and I'm a licensed benefit advisor, so I help people who are retired transition from group insurance to individual Medicare. So it's annual enrollment period, so it gets really busy. So I don't have time to really do any crafts while I'm at work. Now, if it's slow, I can kind of make some stuff while I'm just sitting here. But right now, it's so busy at work, and school just started on the 6th. So trying to make sure I stay on top of my assignments. All right, so I'm just going to take the gassy because that's what was on the lighter. And sometimes I just use my nail and kind of help it come up from that. Okay. Here's the lighter. And this part right here, the brand, that's like the front of the lighter. So I'll just put this on top of it, like so. My daughter, she always loud. And there you have it. I'm gonna take that same piece of transfer tape and I'm gonna grab my leaves. I'm just gonna place this on there, and then that way when I'll just place the lips on top of the jar like so. I just use my finger to smooth it on, make sure I don't have any air pockets or bubbles. I don't seal this, but I do seal the top. And I don't know what I made this extra one for. I think I can put it in the ashtray, but I really wanted the lips to go in the ashtray, but I'm just gonna get it out the way, because I don't need this one for the tray. I might leave it on there, I don't know. But I don't think it look good right there in the middle, because that's where my lips gonna be. So for now, we got this piece. I'll take it and put it right back on top of the, oh, that's not even the one I thought it was. This right here. So I'm gonna put it right here just to save it for later. And the lips are going right there. Just gonna cut around it. Cut around it. And then I'm gonna take my super big piece of transfer tape. And let's move this over. And I'm gonna start from one end and just smooth it over to the next end. And I had my little scraper thing. Here it is. I'm just gonna burnish it really good to try and get the letters off without having to manipulate them. The A, the S, the H. So I'm doing it in sections, like the letters, and the words. I'm just kind of putting them on there in sections, rubbing it with my finger to make sure it's sticking to the tray. And I'm gonna roll back the tape. My G wasn't stuck all the way down. And I just peel it slowly. The trash part is a little bit like slanted, but it gives it character. And then my leaves. Push them on in. All gas, no trash. They smoking on that gas. I don't judge nobody for what they do. Now, if it's just like a simple design like this, I may have been able to lift it up and just stick it on there, but I don't trust that. Then you might not need the transfer tape, because if you, depending on when you spray painted your stuff, if that spray paint has not set up and it's not like, I haven't not sealed this tray with anything, you can do a clear coat. Depending on what type of design I'm doing, I might do a clear coat over it just to seal the paint, but I did not for this set because I painted this a couple of days ago, so it's had plenty of time to dry. I left it outside, then I brought it in as it was drying, or when I thought it was dry. Take my little scraper tool and just kind of burnish it to get all those little pieces. So if I can't lift it all off from one side, I just go to another side and try it. If at first you don't succeed, try it in another corner. And I just kind of roll and push with my fingers. Like I said, this transfer tape normally works way better than this, but this whole roll right here has been giving me the blues. That's why I say I think I got a bad batch. And I don't want a chance. It's just $1, but still. I haven't seen any in Dollar Tree in a while anyway, since everybody found out about it. And just because Dollar Tree's starting to sell all those trays, y'all don't go in there and buy 20 and 30 at a time. They're gonna take them back away from us. Go in there, get you about 10, you know. Leave some for everybody. Because then you got people buying them up just to sell them for $1 more than what they sell them for at the store, which I understand you want to make a profit because you're taking your time to go and get them. And you're going to the post office to ship them. But if you just leave some for the other people, you won't have to do all of that. They're going to take them back from us. They took them from us, you know. Yeah, they were still making them trays because they was online, but they took them out the store. They said, Just putting the lips right in the center. Slowly peeling that away. And that's how that's looking. There's a few bubbles that I'm seeing in the pink, so I'm just gonna press down on that. I'm gonna put this big old piece of tape back on here because I'll be reusing it. I'm just gonna stick that in my little slot there. So like I said, there's a few little bubbles in here. I'm gonna try to rub them out as best I can with my fingers. It shouldn't lift up because it's sealed around the areas that need to be sealed. Where's the ashtray? Let me measure this one. This one. Yeah, I probably could have made that a little bit bigger. I might just stick this on the bottom. Like that. And I'll put the lips in the middle. It's just a real thin outline. For these, so sometimes it doesn't stick the way it's supposed to, so you just have to encourage it. And I don't know why I just put this pink drippy lip in here with this pink background, so you can't even really see it, but it's still cute. And this is going to be glitter. I'm going to mix the silver glitter and the epoxy once I finish the set without the glitter. Bam, 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 bam. So we are at 31 minutes and we're not making good time for the most part. And I'm gonna set this jar to the side. So I only need the lid. I'm gonna put the ashtrays over here in this corner because I literally just poured the epoxy in there. Not hard, common sense. I'm gonna laminate that. I'm gonna put these over here, and I'm gonna put the trays right here. The reason why I like to have these out, because sometimes the epoxy will drip, and I just take my little stick and I go along the edges as it's curing. All right. So now to this part. Now, depending on what epoxy you use, follow those instructions. Don't go by what anybody else does. Follow your own instructions and do it the way your epoxy is recommending that you do it. Epoxy needs to be warm. So what you can do is, if it's cold, you can drop them into a bowl of hot water, let them sit for about 5 minutes, and that just makes it easier to mix. Because if I fill my container and it feels like it's cold, then I know I need to let it warm up a little bit. And for some reason, so this one doesn't say that. So one of them, like on this one, say hardener and it says resin. I'm just trying to figure out how I always end up with more hardener than resin left. And I'm measuring everything the same. So I'm trying to find a good spot to mix this. Mixing your epoxy, you basically want to put the same amount of part A, the same amount of part B, pour it into one container and mix it. I don't know how else to explain it. If it's your first time or if you're new to it, you do want to use the measuring cups so that you can be exact. But because I have been doing this for a while, I just kind of eyeball it. And I know that if I can use these lines on my cup to kind of guide me, you know. So I'm just gonna, I don't want to mix these two together. This is a different brand. This is the Easy Cast. I got this from Joanne. I made dominoes with it. But I got a little bit left of this amazing clear cast. 1-to-1 ratio. This one is FDA approved, so I prefer to use this on my trays anyway. These bottles have been sitting up for a while, so they're kind of like yellowy and dirty. Let me put my gloves on. So basically, you're gonna dump these, both of the part B's and both of the part A's, and it tells you right here, 1-to-1 mix ratio by volume. That means equal amounts of both. So I got more B than A on both of these. I get these cups from Dollar Tree, and I got a big pack of 100 of these little craft sticks from Dollar Tree. That's what I use to mix, and I just throw them in the trash. Well, actually, I let this all of this stuff sit, and then by the time the trays are sealed, once it's all dry, and then I put it in the trash. So I got more B than A. So I think I'm gonna pour A first, and that way I know it's even. Like, this stuff is real cold. I'm gonna go run some hot water on it to make it easier to come out. I should have did this before I started, but this is a full tutorial. So this set with the Easy Cast. These are a little cold, but they are not as bad as that Amazing Sheer Class, because like I said, those have been sitting up for a while. I'm actually gonna have to go buy some more epoxy, because when I do make my dominoes, they take a lot. Like the dominoes take about 280 milliliters of epoxy, depending on the kind of mold that you use. I haven't really did a measurement of like exactly how much epoxy it takes for trays. This is the resin. I'm just gonna pour all of it. Now, when you're working with epoxy, you want to be in a room that is well ventilated, and you want to wear gloves. You want to really have on long sleeves and protective gear. I'm still waiting on my respirator mask, so I don't have one, but I use a N95 mask when I am doing it, because I feel like if I can't smell it, then I'm being protected. So when I have that mask on, I can't really smell it. And I'm just gonna let that drip on all of it. So while the rest of that is running down to the bottom, I'm going to stand it up like so. And let all of that excess run. And I'm going to go with my hardener. Try to get the exact amount. I always end up with more hardener than resin. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it just happens that way. Make sure that they're still even. I'm just gonna throw it in the trash because I don't need just hardener. I'll get my wipe. So the resin is not as thick, so I like to pour it into the other one. Let me put my mask on. And like I say, you want if epoxy is not for everybody. A lot of people have allergic reactions to it, so you want to protect yourself. If you itch, or you notice yourself having headaches and being tired and things like that, it could be the epoxy. That's why I always say not every craft thing for you. Just because somebody else doing it and you see them making some money doing it, every craft is not for you. Still have to live afterwards. I think my health and my pockets are more important than trying to follow the crowd. like to get all of it out. I've got a little bit on my glove. So I like to stir it slowly to prevent bubbles. I have my heat gun here handy, so if I do get a little bubbles, I can just blast them. I've got a little bit on the side. I'm just gonna scrape it. But you stir your epoxy. The instructions do tell you how long you should mix it, so you follow your instructions. Mine say mix it for about 3 minutes.